Why is entrepreneurship so attractive today than ever before? Good evening. Welcome to Talking Entrepreneurship with Dinah Miyato. Today's episode is really episode number 3 of our 150 videos of this year 2020. And in today's video, I want to share with you on why I see, or the reason what I found why a lot of people are getting attracted to entrepreneurship. Let's look at these one by one. Number one, we have to understand human motivation. And who else better to ask about human motivation than a gentleman called Abraham Maslow, who talked about a hierarchy of need. I remember some years back, I think in 2011 or so, when I was in a psychology class and they were teaching me about the hierarchy of need, and it didn't make sense then. But now, as an entrepreneur, I think I find those lessons much more valuable than I did as a student. And so today's discussion is really based on human needs, as into why are people getting attracted to entrepreneurship now than before. Let me share with you this hierarchy of needs from the gentleman called Abraham Maslow. It's called, is it a theory of needs? Yeah, but it's here. So it's a pyramid. Yeah. Now this pyramid has a base, a very big base, and it has about 5 sections of needs. So the lower base is called physiological needs or physical needs. Then the second one from the bottom is security needs. Then the next one is love or social needs. Then the next one is power or recognition needs. Then the next one, so after security we go to love, then we have power or recognition. Other people call it self-esteem needs, yeah? The last one, the one at the top here, is self-actualization. Now when you look at this hierarchy of needs, it explains why entrepreneurship really is so attractive now. Let's say you have work you're doing, it's generating you income, and you're able to, afford that you can afford your meal. It's also very important that you can afford accommodation. I'm hoping by now you've already had your, is it dinner or supper? You've already had your meal, or you're about to have your meal, and so it's very important that we eat. It's very important that we have security. But that takes care of the needs at the base of this hierarchy. So the needs at the base of this hierarchy show that all of us need to eat, to sleep, to breathe. Those basic needs, they are very important. So if you find work that can help you secure these needs, that's very important. The next one, security. And now we are worrying about if we look to the house or not. So it's a human need to be secure. Security needs to have at least an income that is stable, that you are sure that every month it can take care of your family. But then why are people becoming entrepreneurs is that after these 2 needs have been met, the hierarchy goes higher. There's growth now. The next one is love and social needs. I know people say there's everyone for somebody out there, sense of belonging, family, belonging to associations, to companies and all that. But this is what happens. Once this is satisfied, now somebody's looking at recognition. You are married, but you want to be known. Isn't it so? You are in a relationship, but you want to be known. Even this debate of why posting relationships on Facebook and why are you holding hands when you're walking? No, it's a social need for recognition. Beyond the love they are receiving, they want to be recognized, yeah? The next one is the self-fulfillment needs. These ones are esteem needs, the needs for recognition. You want to be known, you are doing something very important. When you have done something special at work, you want to be appreciated. If no one appreciates you, you feel so bent out, you feel so discouraged, you feel like, the world has forgotten you. Even at home, you've done something special and you're looking around thinking that somebody's going to give you a compliment and they're not giving you the compliment. Why are you feeling bad? But you've eaten, but you're in a good home. Why are you feeling bad? Because it's a human need. Then the last one is the need for self-actualization. Now, I got some of this information from a book by this gentleman who actually came up with this theory called the theory of needs. It's called Motivation and Personality by Abraham Maslow. Now, he talks about growth, that growth, human beings will keep growing. But this is what happens. When you're moving from a lower level of needs to a higher one, because you've been too comfortable, you want some adventure, some fulfillment, something new, away from the usual every day. Now people are moving into entrepreneurship because it answers some of our key needs that as human beings we are looking for. Let me give you an example. A need for recognition. You walk on stage. Check what most companies that are entrepreneurial minded do. They recognize the people that they work with. Check what entrepreneurs do after they have won. Why do they post their achievement? It's a need for recognition. It's a human need. You deny it, somebody's going to look for it elsewhere. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of people are joining into entrepreneurship ventures, because they are thinking, I'm not seen here, I'm working in some big organization, no one even looks at what I'm doing, let me move out, maybe do something, maybe the world is going to know me. So the need for recognition is very important. When was the last time you recognized somebody who works with you or who you are working with who did something special? Even after they've eaten, just give them a pat on the back and say, you know what, you've done well here. It's a human need for recognition. Another need why a lot of people now are getting attracted to entrepreneurship is a need for fortune. Let's not run away from the money. Yeah, they need to make money. If you have an income right now coming in and you're earning, let's say 5,000 kwacha every month, right? And if you have that income for the next 5 years, you can predict how much of your dreams you can achieve. But here's an entrepreneur who is starting with zero income right now, but has this big dream that one day they'll reach a point when they can earn 100,000 kwacha, every month. Now they are thinking, okay, so do I stay at 5,000 every month assured for 5 years, or do I go for something that can give me, 100,000 every month assured for this number of years? And so that need for trying to create a fortune, they're seated, but they're not satisfied with where they are. That is one of the reasons why a lot of people now are attracted to entrepreneurship. No one said it's going to be easy. But if you're that person who feels, I think I can earn more, I think I can make more, probably you belong to the school of entrepreneurship. Not because our school of entrepreneurship is not being in class and learning, it's being out there on the marketplace and learning, the practicals. Yeah. Another need that entrepreneurship is answering to right now, that most of the people are getting attracted to, is a need for adventure. Yes, adventure. Imagine every morning you wake up and you're going to face a new problem. Imagine every morning you wake up and you're thinking of meeting new people. Imagine every morning you wake up and you write down your ideas and you're looking at which one of these am I going to look at. Imagine you wake up this morning and you're headed to a very new destination. You don't even know what is there and you're looking at, discovering new places. A need for adventure, a sense of adventure. When somebody is not managing a sense of adventure, that's why you hear people saying, thank God it's Friday. Why do people celebrate Fridays? That statement is for people most of the time who are not entrepreneurs, who are celebrating a Friday because now they feel like they've been released and then they can go and, explore the need for adventure. So as an entrepreneur, the need for adventure gets fulfilled as well. And that is one of the reasons why people are attracted to entrepreneurship right now. Another need, human need that entrepreneurship answers to, for example, the big one, a sense of purpose. Okay, so after you've eaten and you've had a very nice drink and you're sleeping on your bed and you're looking up hoping there's a ceiling board in there or the iron sheets, I don't know, so that when the rain is falling you can really hear the sound of the rain, right? What comes to your mind? You ask yourself, so what is the meaning of life? Why am I here? Was I just born to pay the bills? Was I just born to take the children to school? Oh, today children were reporting at school. All the parents out there, congratulations, Our bundles of joy were reporting for school today, yeah? So you sit down and say, was I just born to pay school fees, to pay rentals, to buy food? What more am I here for? And when you ask yourself those questions, and when you become an entrepreneur, not all entrepreneurs, but some entrepreneurs, they get to live their purpose, as in they find that sense of mission, to feel like I'm here for something bigger than just the usual eating and sleeping and waking up and complaining and problems, that sense of entrepreneurship, of a mission. And so most people are attracted to entrepreneurship because they feel, wow, I think I can discover my purpose here. I think I can be on a mission doing good here, So people are attracted now more than ever to entrepreneurship because it's a room for them to decide what to do with their life, not only decided by other people, but decided by themselves, and gives them a sense of satisfaction. Actually, when you look at the Abraham hierarchy of needs, the last part there, the self-actualization part of it, usually this looks at the development work that people put in, not for money alone, but for satisfaction, to give back to the human to the population. I really don't like the term giving back. To give, not to give back. It's not like you store. To give, to the people out there, to contribute something to humanity and feel, you know what? I think there's something going on here. You know what? I think I'm here for a purpose. I'm beyond just the usual, the norm, the normal, the comfort zone. And so other people get attracted to entrepreneurship to say, I can live my dream. Not just a dream for all these things to just amaze, but to live every day, to create memories every day, to feel a sense of satisfaction every day. Somebody said they want to give to charity, but when you don't have the money, how much can you give to charity? I know people say even the little you have, you can share. But one of the things I've come to learn is that the entrepreneurs in the world, they're the biggest donors in most of these projects going on here. They're the biggest donors. Don't you think they enjoy it? Going to bed knowing that they've saved 1 billion people from a certain disease? Don't you think they enjoy it? Going to bed knowing that 1 million people out there maybe living with disability have some wheelchairs to be in? Don't you think they enjoy it? So that sense of fulfillment can come in through entrepreneurship. Another need, human need that entrepreneurship answers to, is a need for freedom. Yes, you heard me right. Freedom. Freedom of time. Freedom to decide where to be, when to be there, who to be with, what to do. I read something that said that the highest number of heart attacks happen early Monday morning between 8 to 11 a.m. Why does it happen like that? It happens like that because most people are reporting to jobs they don't like. They're going to see the boss who despises them. They're going to see the workmate who pretends to greet them, yet they don't like each other. And so they feel like they're being pressured to go there. But remember the other needs for security, and they need to eat. And so they're going there. They even tell you, no, just to put bread and butter on the table, I have to go to this job. But eventually you get tired of being in the rat race and say, you know what, why am I going there? So the need for freedom, to be free to be where you want to be, to go where you want to go, to buy what you want to buy at whatever time you want to feel like, to wake up at the time you want to wake up. Now, this does not come day one, but I'm looking at what motivates people to get into entrepreneurship, and that is one of the needs that entrepreneurship answers: freedom. Now, there are a number of businesses that an entrepreneur can start. Depending on what business, it can take longer, it can take shorter. Within 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years, somebody can become financially free and they can begin to live their dream. But I believe that actually living their dream is not at the end. It's this daily process that an entrepreneur goes through to say, you know what, I'm working for my freedom. Instead of knowing that we are working on something and you'll never be free. At the end of the day, that's why people lose a passion to even focus well at work, because they're thinking, when is my freedom going to come? Yeah? So people work for freedom. That is why most people are attracted to entrepreneurship. Another thing is creativity and innovation. If you're watching right now or you watch a replay, let me ask you a question. When was the last time at your workplace you gave an idea and it was ignored? How did you feel? You thought it was the most brilliant idea to solve a certain problem, yeah? Then they ignored it. Then you felt like, can't I just go somewhere where this idea can work? There are people who've actually started businesses because they felt unheard, they felt unrecognized and uncounted. They felt that they have brilliant ideas, and in the environments where they are in, they're not being tolerated, they're not being helped to grow. And so what did they do? They left. They may not have left day one, but most people can have a job somewhere and start their side business to begin to put their ideas into place, to be innovative. There's just this feeling that comes in when you get an idea from your mind, put it on paper, and eventually develop a product or a service to offer to the people. And it sells. It feels that sense of, I created something, My opinion matters, so I can come up with an idea. So there are people who actually are attracted to entrepreneurship because they know that their opinions matter, their innovations matter, and they can be creative. Yes. And of course, the last one to wrap it all is growth in all sectors. Entrepreneurship offers a chance to grow in all sectors. You can grow as an entrepreneur, you can grow as a family person, you can grow in whatever field you want to grow, because as an entrepreneur, you get to decide how to spend your time And because really, time is the biggest thing that we have, all of us in uniform, kings and queens and subjects and commoners and royalties, and we have the same time, 24 hours a day, and each hour has 60 minutes. And so as an entrepreneur, it's attractive because you're looking at that time and say, okay, so I can decide what of my 24 hours, what to do with it. Now, I'm not trying to encourage the people that are lazy wake up in the morning and say, because I'm an entrepreneur, I'll not work. No. There's need to work. That good work ethic you have, when you put it into your business, it is able to multiply and pay you even higher. And so when you look at these factors, let me go through them again. The need for recognition. When was the last time you were recognized? How did you feel when you were the employee of the month in your workplace? How did you feel when your spouse, in front of everyone, just gave a hand and said, this is the best father or the best mother in the world? If you were at school, why do you think they used to do recognitions for us? The first position, third position, up to fifth position. Then they do give recognition for the smartest girl or the smartest boy in school, because they know that apart from just learning A, B, C, D, how to read and write, recognition is a human need. And I found that in entrepreneurship, it can also be satisfied there, and that is why a lot of people are actually attracted to entrepreneurship. I have literally seen people that are entrepreneurs for the positions and the recognition they hold. I've seen them. Why? Because they feel, this need is taken care of. They need to create a fortune. They need to stand in the gap for the next generation and say, you know what, the circle of poverty stops here with me. The circle of mediocrity stops here with me. Being a mediocre is not bad, but it's not good either. You just say, you know what, it ends with me. The next generation, they are going to have different problems. Their problems should be, okay, so what is my passion? Because there's food on the table. Because there's shelter already. There's money already coming in. So their careers are not going to be motivated by what should I eat. They should be motivated with, why am I here? That kind of problems. Those are the kind of problems we should create for our children, So you stand in the gap and say, it ends with me and a new life starts with me. So there are people who say, I want to join entrepreneurship to create a fortune for my family and for my children's children. Apart from that, also adventure. Yes, a sense of adventure. That's just how it feels when you're going for a holiday somewhere, or you're going to work in a new place, and you feel excited to meet new people and have new challenges. A sense of adventure. It's amazing. It's a very amazing one. It's a need, yeah? A need to feel self-actualization need, to have a sense of purpose. Why am I here? So that even that day when, your time is done here, or our time is done here, or my time is done here, you go in peace. Someone was saying that, did you notice that the people in the past, you even used to say bye to the whole village before they go? They even say, bye, my daughter, you have been good, my son, this. Why? I think they reached a point of self-actualization. But a lot of people now go violently. They are not satisfied because they've lived such a short and unsatisfied life. Some people have died at 25 and they only get buried later. You know why? Because their dream died earlier. So there are people who say, I am going to be an entrepreneur and pursue my sense of purpose and find that inner calling in me that wakes me up in the night, that motivates me beyond food, beyond accommodation, beyond the posh cars and the beautiful places, that makes me part of the human race. That need, other people pursue entrepreneurship to answer it. Apart from that, also freedom. Freedom. Yes, freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of finances, freedom to be where you want to be, when you want to be there. Then the last one is creativity. Creativity and innovation. To be, there's actually somebody who says that I'd rather be where I'm celebrated than where I'm tolerated. So when you're an entrepreneur, most of the time you're in places where you're celebrated, sometimes not by people. To take time for people to celebrate you, but you can celebrate yourself. Have some milestones and learn to celebrate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back and say, you know what, well done, you've done something very nice here. Yeah, and finally, we are here to grow. We are always striving higher and higher and higher to grow to the next level. So I don't know what you're growing towards. I don't know what attracts you to entrepreneurship. But I guess one of the things I've mentioned here now, don't feel bad if none of these things answer to you. Maybe you're just not an entrepreneur, or you don't have that feeling of being an entrepreneur. But for those that feel, okay, I think I have something for entrepreneurship, maybe one of these or two of these or three of these answer to that particular need. So let's keep growing. let's keep going higher. And there's some few words here I wanted to share with you. It says, I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, okay? But I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. Never give up on your dream. I don't know what your dream is. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. That you pursued your journey as an entrepreneur. I'd like to hear some comments from you, and either in my inbox or you can leave a comment on the chat. You can react, like, comment, share with friends that you think can find value in some of these few words that we keep sharing. As for me, I'm here to grow with you. Yes, and we'll keep growing. Tomorrow we'll share again some more tips on entrepreneurship, and we'll keep sharing. And by the end of this year, I would have done 150 videos, and this is just the third one. So I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about today. And what is very important is that I'm excited that I'm an entrepreneur and I keep growing. And this decade has opened. By the close of this decade, it's going to be very different because entrepreneurship is all about growth. Thank you so much. I hope you get attracted to entrepreneurship, or if you're an entrepreneur, you find validation for still being an entrepreneur. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.